Social anxiety is very real, and anybody can be a victim of it. Hey glam girls and guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Inyade. I hope you stay and we need to talk. So before I even start this video, I just want to say the main purpose of my channel, one of the main missions, is to bridge the gap between perspectives, right? Aside from all the glitz and glamour, I really love to have the ability to have others understand the perspectives from both sides, whether we're arguing about relationships, money, business, life, everything. And I specifically wanted to bridge perspectives on this topic because I am totally an extrovert. You leave me in the room for too long, I'm gonna start making friends with the wall. That's just the kind of person I am. Social anxiety is something that's quite foreign to me, and it's not something I experience a lot. And so because of that, I'm ashamed to admit that I was quite dismissive about that specific mental condition, which is social anxiety. But after this story, you will learn that social anxiety is something that is very, very real. And after this experience, I never ever dismissed anybody with social anxiety or anyone that experienced something like that. So without further ado, I'm going to share my story as an extrovert experiencing social anxiety and how this changed my perspective on social anxiety forever. So this day started off as very normal, as every story typically starts, right? I planned to go to a little shopping plaza that had all these nice stores and restaurants, and I honestly just wanted to take a walk and get some work done on my computer. And keep in mind, this is going to be important later on, this area is very close to my gym. My gym is actually inside the outlet. I get to the outdoor mall, I'm walking around, I have my little laptop because I plan on doing work. Everything is normal, and like I said, I'm an extrovert, right? So I'm smiling at people, I'm walking, I'm not thinking anything of it. And at this point, I get hungry, so I decide, let me find something to eat. So I walk around and I walk into this burger store. I grab some food and I walk back out because I plan on sitting outside on one of the cute little benches and just, sitting, doing my work and eating my food. Everything was still normal at this point. So I'm picking where I want to sit, I'm looking around. I sit down, I open my food, and then all of a sudden, my anxiety has not been triggered yet, but all of a sudden I feel like, this is not really a good spot for me to eat. I feel a little bit awkward. It's kind of like in the middle of the plaza. And so I decide to change the spot. The anxiety has not been triggered yet, right? So I'm walking around and I choose a bench that's a little bit closer to my gym area. And this is when I actually started feeling a little bit uncomfortable, but not anxious. I'm outside, I open my laptop, I grab my food, ready to eat, and now I'm feeling uncomfortable. Like this is also not a good place to eat. Everywhere that I tried to sit down, I felt like it wasn't the right place to eat. When in reality, you can actually sit anywhere and eat wherever you want, right? And to be honest, it was around 6 o'clock. The mosquitoes started coming out. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go into my gym. They have a nice lounge area that you can sit down, do your work. You can do whatever you want. I'm just gonna go walk to my gym because I know people there. I'm comfortable there. I feel safe there. So, and I saw mosquitoes. So I was like, oh, I'm out. I hate bugs. I walk inside, I say hi to the people that I recognize, and I go into the little lounge area. And mind you, this lounge area is really close to the entrance. So in order for people to leave the gym, they have to walk past that area. I sit down, I open my laptop, and this is when I felt so uncomfortable to the point I noticed that something was wrong. When I tried to bite into my burger, this is exactly when the social anxiety had hit. At this point, I feel so awkward. For some reason, it felt so weird for me to eat at the gym. I think this trigger says more about me in general, right? Something that I am personally uncomfortable with. It literally felt like every single person that walked past me was watching me eat and thinking, why is this girl eating a burger at the gym? It literally felt like every single person that walked past me was staring at me, was judging me, was looking at me. And in the back of my head, I was thinking, Inyade, like you can't be that, self-centered. Not everyone that's walking past you is looking at you. Like people are probably thinking about so many other things about their lives, bills, work, family, so many other things that they could be thinking about. Why do you think they're thinking about you eating at the gym? Why do you think people care? But the voice in the front of my head was much louder than the one in the back. The voice in the front was like, every single person is staring at you. You look so weird eating at the gym. People are judging you. Why are you eating a burger at the gym? I was so uncomfortable at the fact that I was eating in a public space, especially a public space where everyone is working out, right? Everyone is supposedly healthy and everyone is being active, that it triggered my anxiety. So at this point, I'm just trying to like finish my burger so I can be done with it. I wasn't even enjoying the food anymore. I just wanted to be done with that experience. Every person that walked past me, I made eye contact with them to see if they were looking at me, because it felt like everyone was looking at me. And I know people weren't looking at me, right? And if they were looking at me, it may have been for a different reason. It probably wasn't because of the burger, because who cares? Like, who cares if you're eating, right? So as soon as I was finished with my food, I closed my laptop and I left immediately. I didn't even want to say bye to anybody. I just felt so uncomfortable and I ran out of there, okay? I didn't run, but you know, I strutted. As I was settling down at home, I was really thinking about what I had just experienced. Why, you know, someone who is so easygoing, someone who can easily talk to anybody, why did I feel uncomfortable in a social setting? And then it hit me. I had a social anxiety attack and I experienced social anxiety firsthand. After that day, I felt so ashamed about how dismissive I was about people with social anxiety. I'm always plugging myself in, but if you guys watch my video on how to be unbothered, I mentioned that sometimes in life, the only way for you to understand something that someone is going through is for you to go through it as well. Because I went through that experience, it really opened my perspective. I grew so much empathy for people who suffer from social anxiety. So now that we're all caught up, I just want to educate you guys and, you know, some people that may have had the same beliefs that I did about this anxiety disorder. Of course, I had to do some research because you guys know I like to start off with facts first. Social anxiety disorder is an intense, persistent fear of being watched and judged by others. This fear can affect work, school, and daily activities. It can even make it hard to make and keep friends. Here are some of the signs. When you're having a social anxiety attack, you might start blushing or sweating. Your mind can go blank, right? It might feel like everyone is looking at you. You may start to feel uncomfortable in your own skin. You may even start to lower your voice or find it really hard to make eye contact with people. When you're starting to experience social anxiety, you'll begin to avoid places that are populated with a lot of people, which is one of the reasons I left the gym immediately, because I was like, I need to get away from everyone right now. I don't want to be around anybody. Social anxiety can actually be treated by therapies like cognitive therapies or psychotherapy. Of course, if it is at an extreme level and you've spoken to your doctor, you're able to take medications like antidepressants and sedatives. So although I shared my own experience, believe it or not, social anxiety can get so much worse. I wanted to share another story that I found on Quora about a girl who noticed her sister has social anxiety and how it's been taking over her life. My sister has the worst social anxiety I have ever known someone to have. When we were little, we would laugh and giggle constantly and have so much fun. Her anxiety started getting really bad around when she was in middle school. This disorder took away all of her personality. When asked what she is like, she would literally not have a word to describe herself. The only thing that she is right now is her social anxiety. She completely isolates herself and cannot talk to anyone except for me without stressing, even her closest friends and even my own parents. I just want my sister back, and I want her to be able to live a free and happy life. She says that she's comfortable right now and that she doesn't want to treat it because she's afraid of what she will be like without her anxiety, and that if she starts to speak more, then people won't like her. She cannot look anyone in the eyes for more than half a second without completely forgetting her train of thought and looking back at the ground. I don't think I've ever heard of someone with social anxiety this horrible and controlling, and I want her to get help, but I can't convince her. Can anyone relate or have any suggestions that will help her get better? So that's a really sad story about someone who also is experiencing social anxiety, right? But it's at such a level that it has changed her whole life. She can't hold normal conversations, she can't make eye contact, right? And this is something that if it's not treated, it's going to affect her future, it's going to affect her line of work, her family, her relationships, everything. And when someone is dealing with a psychological disorder, it's really hard to convince them that they need help because they might be scared of what their life will be like when things change, which is like what she said, right? She doesn't even want to get help because she feels like people won't like her when she starts being herself. I don't want to sit up here and speak on anything that I don't know about, right? So I don't want to give advice on how you should convince someone that they need help. But I will say, I know a few things that people who experience social anxiety do not want to hear. Someone who was ignorant and not educated on this disorder, I have definitely said like one or two of these things. Here are some things that you shouldn't say to someone with social anxiety. When someone is having a social anxiety attack, you never want to tell them that it's just in their head. That's exactly what it is, right? They know that it's in their head. You saying that is not going to magically make them stop feeling that way. Even though it's something that's going on in their head, it feels very real, and that becomes their whole reality at that point. So telling them that it's just in their head is probably gonna make it worse or just make you annoying, honestly. Secondly, you don't want to tell them to calm down. That makes them even more self-conscious and more aware of how they might look to others, and this can trigger their anxiety even more. So don't say calm down, don't tell them snap out of it, don't tell them get over themselves. Actually might make their social anxiety worse. This video is very short, but I hope that it can open up someone's perspectives on social anxiety. If you have some family members with it or some friends that you know experience this, hopefully this can open up your perspective and allow you to be a little bit more empathetic towards others with social anxiety, because social anxiety is very real, and anybody can be a victim of it. But that is it for this video. If you're comfortable with sharing your experiences, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And if you feel like you learned anything new from this video or it has done anything for you, don't forget to subscribe. That is it for today's video. I will see you in the next one. Bye, glam girls and guys.